when you believe that what happens in your life is mostly determined by the opinions of other people, you're constantly an emotional wreck that is seeking validation and approval and assistance and empowerment from people outside of you. But when you believe that you are the source of your power, you are who determines the course of your life, what happens? All of a sudden, you don't care what other people think because you understand that you are the one guiding this ship, not them. Have you ever felt like your emotions are getting in the way of anything, everything? Well, here's a video. What if you can delete your feelings? Exploring an episode from The Fairly Odd Parents, which was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. So, interesting topic, great cartoon. Let's check it out.
What happens when you feel nothing? Do emotions make you weak and only bring problems? After an awful situation, Timmy blames his emotions and wishes to never feel anything again. No sadness, no anger, no fear. This episode of The Fairly Odd Parents shows us whether living without emotions would truly make life easier or emptier.
I know I felt like that, wishing that I could just like flip off my emotions and become a robot, as if that would somehow make navigating this life easier. And in some situations, I suppose it would, but that's not the real solution.
This episode starts with a sunny day in Dinsdale, so everyone is at the pool having fun. Timmy turns and looks down and his legs shake as he's about to dive the highest diving board of the pool. From below, the popular boys pressure him to jump.
Come on, Turner! What are you, scared and poor?
Timmy tries to convince himself he can do it because Trixie, the girl of his first wet dreams, is looking at him. But his fears are bigger than him. Timmy runs backwards until something pokes him from behind. It's Francis, the school bully. Naturally, Timmy gets so scared that ends up falling off the diving board. Although a big fall, he lands safe and sound. Probably because he does know how to swim. Unlike me. However, when he comes out of the pool, Trixie screams in horror because Timmy is naked.
Good grief, he's naked!
His bathing suit is floating in the pool, unleashing the mockery of everyone. Consumed by shame, he hides under his bed. He just wants to disappear. Wanda tries to comfort him, explaining that shame is normal and that he must learn to face it. Like certain someone. For Timmy, emotions are the problem. Fear prevented him from jumping, Francis' fright made him fall in a goofy way, and now he feels completely humiliated. Because now everyone at school knows his underdeveloped little private parts. So he wishes to have no emotions. His magical godparents carry out his orders. Suddenly, Timmy's mind's open and all sorts of emotions start coming out. Happiness, anger, love, fear, things he will no longer feel. Cosmo traps them all in a small box. Now, Timmy's empty. Wanda asks him what he feels, to which he coldly replies, I do not. His face is completely expressionless. Okay, this deserves a TikTok edit next to Ryan.
Yeah, now Timmy has entered into full Sigma mode, right? That's what Sigma is, right? It's stoic and emotionless.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
This idea of not feeling anything, not showing emotions, being stoic, being Thomas Shelby.
Thomas Shelby.
And that's a misunderstanding about stoicism. If you read the writings of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, what you will see is that they do not condemn having emotions. It's about how you react to those emotions. You don't control the emotions you have. You shouldn't feel ashamed about any emotions you have, whether that be shame, fear, guilt, sadness, anything like that. If you could choose what emotions you would feel, wouldn't you just feel happy and nonchalant all the time if it was a choice? But it's not. Emotions are like passing clouds in the sky. They come and they go, oftentimes not having anything to do with our decision. What we get to do is decide how we're going to deal with those emotions, how we're going to relate to those emotions. Are we going to attach our identity to those feelings and tell ourselves, oh, I am a depressed person. I am a sad person, a fearful person, an ashamed person. Or do we learn how to separate ourselves from these emotions and make decisions based on what is objectively the best thing to do instead of how this thing is making me feel.
Evet, Sigma be.
In a world where modern man does not manage his emotions properly, vices, addictions, dumb scrolling, and erratic behavior are the result of not knowing how to govern emotions. And this is very true, but it is incomplete. We also have to see the other side of the coin. Cosmo, realizing he can't get offended or sad, makes fun of the pool incident. Even Wanda joins, which yeah, honestly, it was hilarious. The next day at the bus stop, and on the same bus, everyone makes fun of him, points at him, laughs, and makes comments about his public indecency. But Timmy doesn't care. Veronica, Trixie's sidekick, throws a sarcastic comment. Wow, look who decides to wear clothes today. But Timmy stays unmoved, not a single gesture that could reveal discomfort. Let's go, King. Veronica starts feeling frustrated by such display of power until she faints. That's a Michael Jackson type of aura right there. We live in an era that empathizes the importance of expressing our emotions.
Now, though it is impossible for us to remove our emotions, what we can learn from that interaction, and you got to remember, these kids' cartoons, they're being made by adults in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, people who understand life, who've been through life, and so they oftentimes put pieces of wisdom in there. And people only have as much power over you as you give them. When you don't care, it doesn't matter. It won't matter. It only matters as much as you want it to matter in your own life.
And letting them flow freely. And I mean, there's truth to that. Acknowledging and accepting what we feel is better than repressing and hiding them. We saw that on the video about Clarence. However, there's another lesson that is often overlooked. It's equally important to know when not to be ruled by our emotions. Life frequently puts us in situations where maintaining composure and emotional control is more effective than reacting impulsively like a crybaby. And this doesn't mean ignoring or repressing our emotions, but rather being able to discern when it's best to act with reason instead of emotion. Timmy's behavior illustrates this well. By choosing not to react to provocation, he avoids prolonging his suffering and quickly disarms the opposition. By not feeling ashamed or upset by what others say, Timmy takes the power of controlling him away from them. Timmy sits next to Trixie, something that in the past would have made him nervous with excitement. Yet this time, he feels nothing, no nerves, no thrill. He simply remains by her side, as if the moment held no special significance. This new attitude causes her to get excited in the downstairs region. She tells him she will ignore him, but Timmy doesn't react. His silence starts to unsettle her, and more upset, she insists, "I said I'm ignoring you." Still nothing. Finally, she becomes so exasperated that she ends up pleading, almost desperately and definitely moist. In class, Crocker doesn't miss the opportunity to make fun of him.
Yeah, man. That also reminds me of another universal truth. That is, that which you pursue will always elude you, right? What you resist persists, and what you chase escapes. And so, Timmy, right? If he wanted people to have a different opinion of him, and of course this can apply to you, if you want people to have a different opinion of you, well, the last thing you should do is try to change their opinion of you, right? If Timmy went onto the bus and everyone's teasing him and he's making excuses and he's trying to, change their opinions by doing something, then all it's going to do is lead to them further clowning him. But he isn't chasing their validation. He isn't chasing their approval. He's just sitting there nonchalant. I don't care. He's living the life that he wants to live. He's living in the reality that he wants to live in. And in that reality, nobody is trying to bother him. And so even though his external environment is trying to tell him something different, he's living in the reality that he wants to live in. And look what happens. Reality conforms to the way that he chooses it to be. People stop mocking him, stop teasing him, and start to actually admire him and respect him. The opposite would have happened if he tried to fix the situation.
He puts in front of everyone how he was caught in 4K losing his dignity. The whole classroom explodes in laughs, but Timmy is unfazed. Crocker, more irritated, threatens to fail Timmy, which to be honest he's probably used to. But still, nothing seems to get to him. Before long, his classmates start admiring him, turning him into the coolest kid in school.
Look at
Even
that.
the school baddie is in love with him. Like the rest follow him as if he were...
That's another thing to understand, is that people flip on a dime, right? We see people go from being loved to hated and hated to love. It doesn't really matter what people are saying today or in the past or whatever. All that matters is where you are right now. We see it in so many ways. Rappers, you could have a hit song today, and if next year there's no buzz around you, oh, you're washed up. Nobody's messing with you again. You're corny. You suck. And then you catch another hit song, and then boom, you're the hottest shit in the world again. People are fickle. This is why trying to live your life in a way to please people is stupid, because people change on a whim, and people don't really care anyway. You know what I'm saying? People don't really care at the end of the day. So live in the reality that you want to be true. You want a reality where people respect you? Well, then just live as if that's already the case. Don't go trying to force people to respect you, because you're just going to get the opposite result.
Some kind of YouTuber with more than 100,000 subscribers, or that's what I imagine that happens when you have all those subscribers. I don't know, I'll let you know once you subscribe. Wanda remarks that he must be happy, to which Timmy with a blank expression replies, "What is happy?" When we force ourselves to stop feeling, we won't feel peace, but disconnection. Disconnection from what you were, from what you love, and from who you loved. Meanwhile, Cosmo is fighting Timmy's emotions at home, which he is doing an awesome job.
Oh, great! Bravery's on the roof again!
Francis warns Timmy that he's going to beat him up, but cold as ice, Timmy doesn't react. Francis, frustrated, intensifies his threats, saying he will shove him into a toilet. Timmy just yawns and tells him to hurry up to whatever he's going to do. Baffled by Turner's lack of fear, Francis backs off, saying that he's too weird, before accidentally slipping and falling headfirst into a toilet himself in the goofiest of ways. The students hail him as a hero. Trixie approaches and announces
There is nothing to fear but fear itself.
that he's now officially cool enough to be her boyfriend, presenting him with a pin to symbolize it. I think we all know how culturally the idea of the coolest people are those who appear emotionally indifferent, detached, and effortlessly confident. Just look at Thomas Shelby. Oh yes, I got a boner too. But what makes such behavior seem cool? There are two key reasons. First, someone who appears unaffected by others' opinions projects immense self-assurance.
Right.
Unlike most people who worry about fitting in or being accepted. This person doesn't need external validation. That quiet confidence radiates power, which naturally draws people in. Second,
Yeah, and what is something you notice with characters like Thomas Shelby, like the man from American Psycho? It's they believe that the power is within themselves. They believe that they are the most powerful determiner of the outcomes in their lives. The more power you put outside of yourself, the more you ascribe what influences the course of your life to things outside of you, the more you seek validation from outside of you, the more you care about what's going on outside of you, right? The guy who thinks, look, man, I'm going to be rich regardless. It doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter who's in government. It doesn't matter what's going on, because I'm just like that when it comes to making money. That dude, he doesn't care what Donald Trump says. He doesn't care what Kamala Harris says. He doesn't care what any of them say. He's unbothered, right? The guy who thinks that, oh, the policies that are being put in place and all of that, that's what's going to determine his life. That dude, he's stressed. He's super stressed about what is going on in the world of politics. Same thing here. When you believe that what happens in your life is mostly determined by the opinions of other people, you're constantly an emotional wreck that is seeking validation and approval and assistance and empowerment from people outside of you. But when you believe that you are the source of your power. You are who determines the course of your life. What happens? All of a sudden, you don't care what other people think because you understand that you are the one guiding this ship, not them. And that's why people who have that sense of internal power are oftentimes seen as very stoic, because why would they care? Right? Think of every powerful being or person. They always have that sense of stoicism. Whether you look at a character like Jesus, we of course don't get to really see how Jesus behaves emotionally per se, but the impression that I've always gotten of Jesus reading the scriptures was that he was always a very just level guy. Why? Because he's God on earth. You know what I'm saying? But even other characters, men like Superman, men like Omni-Man, it's not that these men don't get emotional or don't, show emotions. Even Jesus gets mad in the Bible. But the point is their baseline, they're just usually very calm because they feel powerful and they think that power is coming from within them.
By refusing to seek approval, they set their own terms instead of conforming to others' expectations. This rebellious independence makes them stand out, and we see this reflected with the Little Me characters from the movies. All based on me. Ironically, those who lack that same confidence scramble to mimic this attitude of gaining approval, so people say, "Oh my god, he's so cool!" But that's missing the crucial lesson. Being genuinely cool means not caring about others' opinions. Trixie asks Timmy how does
and that's a mistake people make. They try to pretend as if they don't care, but deep down they do care because they actually think that the power is outside of themselves. And so they'll act cool and nonchalant, but as soon as, let's say, somebody starts to spread a rumor about them or some drama pops off, they blow up and they're like, and they're reacting and they're responding because they put the power outside of themselves. Someone who really sees themselves as the source of the power, well, it doesn't matter. They'll stay cool regardless. They understand that all of this is a dream. All of this is just a play, a game, an illusion, right? That's trying to deceive you into giving your power away.
That make him feel? He coldly replies, it doesn't. Outraged, she accuses him of playing with her emotions, rips up the pin, and decides she'll date his best friend Chester instead, who completely panicked since, like most of us, he is scared of women. On his way home, Wanda tries to lecture Timmy, but he interrupts her, stating he doesn't need advice, he already understood it on his own. Being the coolest kid is a hollow victory if he can't enjoy it.
And
One day surprised, and Timmy explains.
And that's why you would never want your emotions to actually fully disappear, because then you miss out on all the good emotions. And so the goal shouldn't be to become a cold robot. It should be to understand that the person who has the most influence over the course of your life, regardless of what's going on in the external world, is you. The man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both right, even as Jesus said, if you believe that you have received what you have asked for. And so play the game you want to play. Live in the world you want to live in. It truly is up to you. You must first have it up here before you will see it out here. That way you won't be ruled by emotions like guilt and fear and shame and disappointment and sadness, especially when those feelings are being born out of interactions with other people. You won't be ruled by that, but then you can fully embrace and enjoy the feelings of excitement and happiness and joy and gratitude. That is the key here. There's nothing wrong with you why you get emotional. There's nothing wrong with you why you doubt yourself or are scared or feel fear or any of that. What's wrong is the way you view the world. The more you believe the power resides within you, the less you'll be affected by the outside world. The more you believe the power resides without you, the more the outside world will control you. That's how that goes. But hey man, this was a cool video. I think I might react to some more content by this guy. I like the cartoon, messaging. We didn't even finish the video, but I feel like we already got so much out of this, But thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.